Urban exploring gone wrong. This happened to me recently. I am a 19-year-old female living in Houston, Texas. I did urban exploring in abandoned places. Though nothing had happened, this event ceases to terrify my thoughts and has changed my mind about exploring forever. That day I had planned to go to the movies, but it got cancelled. But in my house I knew I had to take advantage of going out. So instead of going to the movies and invited a friend that has been through a lot lately in his home and life, now I don't really like to bring new people to explore because of safety, but my friend has gone exploring with me a few times but nothing bad has ever happened. Anyways, I asked an old friend if he could send me a new location, which was a little school around in the downtown area, and we headed there at first. We then searched around to find a way into the building. The way in was towards the back, but there were people, so we headed to a different location which also failed because the way in was towards doors, and they were nailed to wall, so we returned to the little school. Now the people were still outside in the back area, and I still wanted to go in the building. So let me explain how the fences were set. This will fall into what happened in the story. The building had a set of different fences. Inside the first one we had to roll under, and the second fence, there was a small opening that you had to open in order to get in. Well, we made ourselves in, and I decided to get on a short roof, which separates the big building and a small building while my friend was on the bottom of where I was. I then explained to him that there was a way but we would be seen. Next, I heard a man yell, "What the fuck are you doing on my property, motherfucker?" My heart dropped. I thought it was the cops, and I hear my friend screaming, "Stop. We will leave." The guy told him, "I saw you guys trying to get in from a mile away," and he continued to beat my friend with a bat. I then stand and stare from the roof. I am frozen in fear. I see my friend bleeding heavily. The man then stares at me. And I scream, "We will leave, I swear," and showed no mercy, and said, "No, you both are leaving in a body bag. I will kill every single Mexican." As he tried to get to me, I told my friend, "Run. Run now." I saw him run into the gap. As the man tried to run after him, I then jumped off the roof without hesitation and ran towards the first fence to roll. I then saw my friend roll under and his whole clothes was covered in blood with his eyes swollen and his face bleeding. I then told him to run to his car, and we drove off. I then saw a cop car, and I told him to leave his car and get into mine. As I ran to the cop, nobody answered, and I looked through to see nobody there, and I ran back with my friend holding his right wrist and squirting blood in my car. He looked at me and said, "Thank you for being there in my life. I'm dying, I'm cold." I screamed till the top of my lungs. I then sped to the hospital screaming, "Please help," as people stared in terror at my friend and from how much blood was on both of us. They then got him to the room and cut his bloody clothes, and I had to tell them a different story. If I told them I was in that building, I would have been in deep trouble. They then stapled his head, stitched his nose, and diagnosed him with a broken wrist. I kept blaming myself for what happened. My dad got there and pretty much hated me and cussed me out in front of everyone as I stood right in front of the room in terror. Later, his mom finally showed up, then thanked me for calling her. After that I went into restroom and I threw up blood. I then went home with my mom, the only one that has been by my side. I was having panic attacks from this incident. Right now my friend has a closed purple eye stitched nose and a cast on his arm. Urban explorers out there, please be careful. You'll never know what you can find in these types of places, because death can end up as a result.